Welcome to the Bear Pit Pod, back yet again. Why did we come back?
What, for the podcast?
Yeah,
or
just everything.
As a Stoke City fan?
You know what? We were wishing so hard for football to be back after the international break, and then it just came back to this.
I mean, a massive part of me knew we'd lose Man City.
Oh yeah, we caught
a slightly smaller, but still a big part of me thought we'd lose by at least 3. A slightly smaller, but still a part of me thought it could be 4. A tiny part of me thought it could be 5. But I really didn't think 7. And it's just embarrassing.
Got a
isn't it?
difference of 5. There was 5 between
I know.
us.
It doesn't make a difference if you scored 1, 2, 3, 4. If you concede 7, that's the headline, isn't it? It doesn't make a difference, and it's just embarrassing. I don't care how good Man City are.
Well, we will get into it. Obviously, listen to the Bear Pit Pod. Do go leave us a review on iTunes, 5-star. We will read them out if you go and leave one. We've also got a guest in the studio this week. James Alcott's just over in the corner editing some videos. Unofficially, he might just pop up with a shout every now and then. We don't know. He's unpredictable. He's a maverick. Yeah. So this weekend was not the greatest game that I've ever seen Stoke City take part in.
Well summarised.
We were 3-0 down within 30 minutes. Jesus, Sterling, Silva, and before the game, Mark Hughes reverted to a 4-4-2, which was a strange move.
I kind of
after you've played one formation all season to go and switch in.
I do agree with that, because a criticism of Hughes I've always had is it doesn't matter if we're playing bottom of the league or top of the league. It's always the same formation. It's always the same philosophy. So I thought at last he's actually trying to play the team a little bit as opposed to just going blindfolded.
I think he might have thought that when we got the 0-0 draw last season, it was a 4-4-2.
We drew 0-0 last year, didn't we?
Yeah.
We've recessed
full
slightly.
circle.
Yeah, it's gone like that.
We did a watch along for that game.
Yeah, we did. Yeah, it was a good performance. I agree with that. I think, fair enough. Try something different. We've obviously not competed very well against the top teams in the past 18 months. We wanted to mix it up a little bit. I'm struggling to find out why we're consistently so bad against the top teams. Mid-table teams,
especially away from home.
Mid-table teams don't concede as much as we do they? As many goals as we do.
They don't consistently lose 4-0 or above.
It's just embarrassing. And the most annoying thing is when we were 3-0 down after 30 minutes, it was kind of a shrug of the shoulder I knew this was coming. Go. It's not like under Pulis we got battered every now and then, but it was rare, wasn't it?
Yeah,
it was rare to a point that we'd be 3-0 down after 30 minutes. We could kind of battle a little bit, and it felt unusual to get overrun, but this just felt very familiar, and that's probably the most worrying thing, wasn't it?
Yeah,
we
just expected.
God, here we go again.
There was, however, a brief revival.
That was the biggest shock of the game.
That was the big.
Somehow scored.
It was mental.
Goals.
So just before the half-time break, Juve did a great 1-2 with Shaq. Put it back, I think it was Shaq, or was it Hesse? No, it was Hesse. Hesse, you put it back on a plate for him with a nice little swept back heel sort of thing. And Juve had a shot which it seems to be the running theme with Mamadou. If he has a shot and it either goes in off someone else, but his first goal, which was actually given to him, came off. I think it was Otamendi and just went over Edison in net. And we went into the break with a little bit of hope,
glimmer of hope.
As you always say, Craig, it's the hope that kills it.
Yeah, it really, really did. I feel that getting to 3-2 almost made it worse in the long run, because I did briefly think, hold on. I even thought at 3-2, if we're going to lose this, even 3 or 4-2, at least we put up a bit of a fight. I was almost willing to take the defeat on the chin a bit more. Then I thought, well, fair enough, we will lose this still. But
so we did come back out after half time and get a goal almost instantly.
Great cross
by Tom Edwards.
Really good cross, yeah.
And it was better than any cross Peters has done in his 5-year Stoke City career for me. And then it's not harsh, it's fair. And then Juve header was off target.
He knew what he was doing.
2 yards out.
It was Walker, wasn't it? Come off. Walker? He knew what he was doing. You saw the angle and thought, I need to deflect it off Kyle Walker's knee. He's like that, Juve, innit? And it works.
Yeah, he just
call it on goal.
He sees things that others don't.
Yeah,
but then Man City went, right, we're going to take it up 5 gears.
So bad defending one. It's so frustrating. There was a brief. I can't stress brief enough, but there was a little window prior to them scoring the 4th where we were knocking him out quite well. We looked. I can't believe I'm even suggesting we knocked it out well at all. All right, let's call it 120-second period.
Yeah,
we looked. All right, we can do this.
Brief period.
And then they broke down the right, I think it was, which they did consistently all game. Peters sort of territory.
It seems like, I think in the first half they targeted the side with Edwards on a lot, and once he'd left, they went, right, we'll go for the other one, we'll go for Eric Pearce.
And they put a good ball in. But a ball that should have been defended better, there's just no players there. And you can't help but think it's the lack of tracking, it's the lack of care from the midfield forward. I get, you look at the pitch, you hardly see players like Shaq and Hesse legging it back to try and support. It's just lazy. Just lazy.
Just no work ethic.
No, it's just no work. I'm going to sound like a broken record, and he's been and gone, but you didn't get that under Pulis. You worked hard and you tried, and it's the common symptom of all these batterings is heads drop. We don't seem to care. We don't seem to fight. We accept defeat, and that's just it.
The problem,
we're like a mini Arsenal sometimes, and I don't want to say that, but we do, don't we? We look like a mini Arsenal sometimes.
Mini Arsenal. I know what you mean. As in the drive, the competitiveness, the will.
It's just poor.
Definitely didn't see
There's only like a handful of players that really kind of get stuck in.
You know that Pulis or another manager, say Sam Allardyce, etc., they go there with a game plan, and it doesn't seem like we have a plan set out.
It doesn't at all, does it? It's chaos. I don't know what.
And I'm not saying that Pulis, etc., would have got a better result, but I really think that the players would all know exactly what they're doing and they'd stick to that. Whereas we didn't look like we had much of a plan.
We didn't have any plan.
Weekend.
We didn't have anything. It was absolutely chaotic. It's just embarrassing. And like I said at the start, I don't care how good Man City are or appear to be. It's just, you shouldn't lose 7 goals in the Premiership, should you? For a team that's been there for nearly a decade, with the money that's come into the squad, you should not be losing by 7 goals. Probably or conceding 7 goals.
Definitely not. Man City are dismantling teams at the minute, and in that game, Jesus scored after the second goal that we scored. Fernandinho scored an absolute rocket. I don't think there's much that Jack could have done about that. And then Sané scored, and Bernardo Silva to finish it off, and that was the route complete. That was it. We are saying, is this a bit where it's difficult to judge? But if we're City that good, were we that bad?
I think combination of both. It was the perfect balance. It was the perfect kind of mixture of both.
Because for me, I do think City are going to cakewalk the league.
They are great. There's no denying that. And we would have lost. At our best, we'd have probably lost 3 or 4. I feel confident saying that. But it's just the manner of how we're doing it time and time again. There's just no heart. There's no fight. There's no attempts to look like they can. It's the midfield forward that just worry me. They just don't track. How many times did they break? How much space did they have?
Oh, there was a lot of space.
So much space.
They were queuing up. It was like training ground football.
They could have scored double figures. I can't help but think they slightly took the foot off the gas. Maybe for embarrassment to save us. I mean, when was there
was a bit of a mercy substitution when Kevin De Bruyne came off.
Yeah, cheers. Thanks, that Guardiola.
And he's probably the best player in the Premier League right now.
I think he is.
Unbelievable.
I think he is. I mean, where does this leave you, Well? You've always been generally on the Hughes out sort of side of things.
Not this season.
No. But like generally, you'll be quicker to get there than me, certainly. How far's that tipped you back towards that status?
It's only notched me maybe 1 notch up.
Okay.
I'm still not there. Still nowhere near. But it's definitely a sign that we've got no game plan going into games. We've got this Saturday. We'll come on to it, but this Saturday is huge.
It is big.
If you lose Saturday, we're probably into the drop zone after 9 games.
Well, this is what I always said, and I said it all the way through the summer. If we're in the bottom 5 come
quarter of the season.
But to be fair, I said it before the fixtures were announced. There's no denying we've had a difficult start. We've had Man United, Chelsea, Man City, and
but we got results out of the games where we were expected we wouldn't.
Yeah, we did, bar Chelsea and obviously Man City. But this is Bournemouth's the real big test, isn't it? I think if it wasn't for our record against the top teams recently, I really would put Man City in isolation. I think don't worry about it. They're good, but it just keeps happening. I already look further forward to like Chelsea away, Man United away. I'm already anticipating 3-4 losses, and it didn't happen under Pulis. You didn't. Maybe we were lucky in that sense. I don't know. I'm still not Hughes out. I'm a little bit more towards the Hughesing camp than you are, but I am getting sick of the mentality of the players. I really, really am. And you look outside of managers available, and I don't know if this will be agreed with or slated, but I do think, look at Sam Allardyce. What do you think? I'm not saying I want Hughes gone, but I know for a fact I reckon a different set. I don't know. There'd be a bit more steel with someone like him.
No,
I don't know.
I know what you mean.
I just see him there, and he's floating
about.
I think he was hinting he considered the Scotland job, but didn't suggest he wants to get back into management. I don't know.
Well, there's been a job come up today. I don't know if you've seen Craig, but Craig Shakespeare's been sacked by Leicester today.
Yeah, I did see that.
Some Allardyce could be.
Yeah, that perfect match. Really,
although the owners, from what I've read in articles since his sacking, the owners seem to want a high-profile manager.
I do.
And even Carlo Ancelotti was touted, which I don't believe would happen for 1 second. But they seem to be aiming higher, so to say, than Sam Allardyce.
Can't get higher than Sam Allardyce.
Hey,
number one.
I'm a big fan of Sam Allardyce. I'm not sure if he'd take us to the next level.
I think he's the perfect blend for what we are as a club. Sam Allardyce, let's face it, it's so hard to break into the top 7, but I think he gets knocking on the door, but with determination and a little bit of kind of decent football at the same time. In the moment, we just get occasional decent football, but generally we're just a bit weak. Soft underbelly.
One of the big points for me, really, and I said it at the weekend when he was dragged off at half time, it looks like we spent 18 million on a big slab of gammon.
Big slab of gammon?
Yeah.
Is that yours?
That's mine.
It's worrying, isn't it? I mean, how many games he played prior to Stoke? 15?
Something like that in the Premier League, yeah.
I said to my brother, it's very rare that you spend 15 up to 18 million on a defender who's going down the division, if that makes sense. If you're spending 18 million on a centre-back, a young centre-back, generally he's going to a bigger club. The fact he's coming down is just a bit odd.
Yeah, it was a strange one that we spent 80 million after they brought him for 4 and only played him. I think it was 9 Premier League starts.
It's just really worrying, isn't it?
And he's not looked at the races. He looks slow. He looks a bit unaware. A bit lost at times. And he was dragged off at half time, which suggests Mark Hughes wasn't happy with his performance, more so than anyone else on the field. So it is quite worrying. Worrying that we spent 18 million. We conceded more in the second half. Yeah,
let's give him credit.
Yeah, let's give him some credit. Bruno came on and conceded more.
But where's Ryan?
But there's
sick of that as well.
I feel like a lot of people give Ryan stick, and he's obviously out with this back injury at the minute. But I feel like he does shore up our defence in some way.
He does, yeah. He really even.
I feel like he holds it together.
Now. Yeah, even the Ryan we've got now, which isn't the Ryan we had a few years back with his back injury, and that he offers you something that you just can't put a finger on sometimes. Just a bit of stability, confidence, and we I don't know if he's back for Bournemouth. It's gonna be quiet, unlikely. This back injury is really kind of screwed the tail end of his, not tail end, but the latter part of his career. Yeah,
I feel like there's something the club's not telling us with that injury as well. Seeing as though when he was first injured, it was going to be a week. It's now turned into 3 or 4, including the international weekend.
5 now, I think, isn't it? Pushing 5.
So it's a big worry, especially after we just offered him a brand new deal, which I think he should have gotten anyway. But if we're going to be this reliant on him, maybe we should have got another defender in as well.
Perhaps, because Wimmer just doesn't look up to Zoom's obviously going back next year as well.
When I was reminded by myself of this on Twitter the other day, but the 18 million for Wimmer stings even more when you know that we were in for and missed out on because of some error at the club, Harry Maguire at Leicester.
Oh, what's this error?
Well, apparently we took an eye off the ball. Leicester signed him, snapped him up from under our noses whilst we were interested.
Right.
And knowing that happened, England international now, playing pretty well.
Yeah. Let's say that. Where are Leicester in the league? They're only one place above or even below us, aren't they?
They are. But I feel like there's a lot going, and I feel like there's a lot going on at Leicester through management, through upstairs, downstairs, signing a player 12 seconds late on the window. There's a lot going on wrong there behind the scenes. I don't think it's all on the pitch, and I've got no doubt that Harry Maguire's a good defender.
Yeah.
But that pains me a little more that we know we were interested for him and ended up with Harry Maguire, who played full season Premier League, touted as a good young English centre back, than someone who had played 9 games for Tottenham that I feel like we're paid over the odds for.
Really did. I'm struggling to see remotely. I don't see him as a £7-8 million player yet at all, let alone 18 million. I don't know.
Another point that was raised by someone on Twitter is that we have now spent 50 million on Berahino, Wimmer and Mbula.
Money well spent. The goals are flying in for a trio. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what to add to that. It's just poor, isn't it?
Poor,
really poor.
Poor player scouting,
recruitment.
Time
and time again, haven't we? That must be doing Coates' head in.
Imagine how pissed off Coates would be right now, knowing that money's just been.
It's annoying.
It looks like it's been thrown down the drain.
We'll give him a time. Obviously, we can conclude it was with Mbula.
Yeah.
Berahino were really on a knife edge of concluding that as well. Was creeping towards
getting
that.
close.
Wimmer, it's still early. You never know. But
It is still early days.
But that's a lot of money. And the annoying thing is, we spent nothing in the summer. Really, did we? All summer we were quite tight with what we spent and stuff. Then all of a sudden, the whole budget just seemed to go on this player at the last minute. It felt a bit panicky to me.
Mm-hmm.
Like they just needed somebody to spend this money on. Yeah, that's a worrying stat.
It's difficult.
A worrying stat. Mark Hughes, when you look back throughout his managerial career, he's always he's spent better when he's got a tight budget.
Limited resources.
Yeah, he's always seemed to have done that. Like you saw at Man City, he spent a lot of money, didn't quite work. I fear he's doing it again. QPR, obviously.
James, was Mark Hughes at QPR? You might have to speak up.
Yeah. Sorry. What else?
Mark Hughes spending at QPR.
James is a QPR fan, for those of you who don't know.
He's got links with his agent, who knows other players, a lot of players, and a lot of often players who are a bit flimsy. They're kind of stars, but like you was just saying earlier, I think the tracking back, the hard work, which you can't write down, you can only see it when you're there watching the games. We had a lot of great names the season that he won one game. I think it was in 14, and it was a team of great names, but not enough effort. And
it just sounds like
not
Stoke,
committed to the cause.
Exactly, and names also names that, like you said earlier, maybe on the way down, and so again don't have the stomach for it. They're more kind of right. Okay, I'm not good enough for that level. Right, let's try something else, and that is a bit of a come down. So I think maybe even someone like Wimmer, it's probably going to take him a little while to kind of re-acclimatise to where he is as a player for him to kind of go again. So, and same with Berahino, maybe. I don't know, but yeah, he's not been great.
But that does sum up Stoke's.
Thanks for that QPR corner.
Cheers. Cheers. Yeah. That does sum up the mentality of Stoke, really, doesn't it?
At the
We've got some good names in there, at least good reputations anyway. But it's just a bit soulless sometimes.
It is.
I don't know. Bournemouth's going to tell me a lot more than I hope Man City will.
One stat I did want to throw at you, even though this is all negative so far,
we will try
and come on to a few positives. One stat I got is Yaya Toure played 18 minutes at the end, completed 3 times more passes than any Stoke player.
Oh, lovely. That's good to know.
What a
cheery podcast. Can I put a positive stat in there quickly?
Yeah, go on.
I'll quote this from the Oatcake message board, but Stoke, of the 66.66 goals conceded by the top 2, they've been scored by Stoke. Do you see that?
Manchester United.
It means nothing in any context.
It means zero, but there we go. You know, it's a positive.
66% of the goals conceded by the top 2 have been scored by Stoke.
The last negative that we're going to go and do is Eric Peters has said it won't happen again.
I saw that. Can you promise that, Eric? Because I
feel like out of everyone, Eric shouldn't be the one promising that.
I think he's had an alright season, to be fair, but yeah, you've got to say that, haven't you? What's he going to say? It might happen again.
Yeah, I was going to say, well, it could happen again. Could happen in a few weeks when we play Tottenham. But yeah.
Oh God, at Wembley as well.
At Wembley.
Big pitch.
To be fair, they've not looked great at Wembley.
They've not.
They've only just scraped past
how it
Bournemouth.
Works. You know how it works. Stoke roll into town. Every club says this. And same for Palace as well. You watch them just get going.
Yeah, we've got Palace.
Just fucking lose to Palace.
And me and you are going to Watford.
Yeah, they're
next
flying
weekend
as well.
They're doing well.
Champions League Watford.
They're doing well. Where are the points coming from, Craig?
Bournemouth.
Bournemouth.
That's it. We need to get about 40 points from Bournemouth.
Yeah.
Then we'll be all right.
Sound. Easy task. Right, let's get on some positives from Saturday. Tom Edwards, first of all.
Local lad.
Make his debut. He was thrown into... He was given a fucking acid test.
Yeah.
He was thrown in at the deep end, so to say. And yeah, what's he going to do in that back four against some of the world's best? 18 or 19.
Stafford
lad.
Stoke fan.
But he did put in an absolutely delightful cross.
It was a great ball.
A brilliant ball. Took on left back. I'm not sure who it was. Took on the left back and whipped it in. Great ball. Straight onto Juve's head. And as we said before, Juve
cleverly
meant
put it onto
Kyle Walker's knee and in. But yeah, great ball. I think he did as much as he could in that game, when we were up against it. And I was really sad to see him get injured.
Do we know what he's done yet?
Mark Hughes said that they can't assess it immediately, which makes me think there's a lot of swelling waiting for it to go down.
I seem to say this a lot, but I'm not a doctor or a physio. I always stress that before I get into this next point. But you look at it, and it was a real knock on his ankle. I'm going completely on the limit, but I can't help but think he's fractured it.
Did you see who it was who did it?
Delph.
The irony of it all.
Could have been Stoke City's Delph. Yeah, I don't know. It looked bad to me. I worry it might be a little fracture or something like that.
They did go off on a stretch.
I'm basing that on like just me having no medical background, but it looked bad, and he was obviously stretching off. I'm quite worried about that one.
Which
means
we'll have to
wait and see.
If you stretch it off, usually that's bad.
Generally. Although Bojan wasn't stretching off that fateful night in Rochdale. Look what happened there.
He wanted to play on as well.
He did want to play on. No, it's good to see. It's the smallest of most minute kind of pick-me-ups from the game that a local lad starts, and I hope we were patient with him, because I always felt we didn't show any patience to Ryan Shotton. He was hung out to dry.
We'd love to bring through a right back.
But yeah, we do.
Shotton,
Edwards. We like that, don't we?
Love a right back.
Shotton was hung out to dry by Pulis on the wing. For whatever reason, I remember the fans quickly got on Shotton's back. I never felt that was fair. Don't get me wrong.
I think it might have been because he was absolutely wanker.
Well, I don't think he was that bad. But he'd playing right wing for some reason. But anyway, point being, I hope we give him kind of the time and patience he deserves.
He got off to a good start, because I think everyone took to him pretty well at the weekend with the performance that he put in and the great cross that he put in. Like I said before, Eric Peters hasn't put one of them in 5 years.
One game, one assist.
One game, one assist. That'll do. Hopefully we see him back pretty soon, and it's not as serious as you think it is. Juve scored 2. Well, he didn't score 2, but it should.
But he's got 2 in 2 officially.
He's got 2 in 2 officially. Also created a third. It's 2 games now where he's shown something up top. Is that his best position? We've been pointing him out on the right wing.
Well, when was it? The first season where he played the most consistently up front. His first ever season with Stoke, he scored 11 league goals, which is great for the Premier League, isn't it, generally? And ever since then, he's struggled to kind of get consistent. Obviously, had that tragedy involving his mum, I believe, in the second season. He didn't play or feature that much. And last season, it was a bit of a crap season all round for him. He didn't really play at all, did he? I've said it well before I was with Bear Pit. He deserves a decent run up front, and I still stand by that as well. He's not. He's an instinct player, isn't he?
Yeah.
But that's what the best strikers are.
You don't give him time to think about it.
If Juve played 80% of the games up front, how many goals do you think he'd get? League goals? I think he'd get 10.
I think he'd get 10 at least.
Easy, and that's better than what we've been managing the past several seasons. So I just think it's a bit cruel that cruel's a bit over the top, a bit harsh that he's not been given that opportunity. But I don't see him getting that opportunity anytime soon either. No. I think Hughes has made up his mind that that's not his position. But you know what? He's playing alright at full back and he's chipping in with the odd goal. So, why change something that's not necessarily broken?
Are there any other positives that you can take from the weekend?
What, from the 7-2 defeat?
Yeah.
Have a quick think about
it. It wasn't 10?
Yeah, it could have been 10. We played this isn't even a positive, but we did play a team that is absolutely battering teams left, right and centre, so we need to take that with a pinch of salt. No, there isn't, is there?
I don't think there's too much more we can take from that.
It's just depressing.
Yeah, it
is just depressing. You can almost get away with 5-6 and just tongue-in-cheek laugh at yourself a little bit, but 7's just embarrassing.
Right, we'll go to the people's questions. There's been a lot this week, so I can't get through them all, so apologies. There's 42 on Facebook, which makes me think that everyone must be angry about something. Dan Wade says, was Hughes really the problem on Saturday, like some people are saying? Could you see any other managers getting a different result with our players? Yes.
Yeah.
I do think Pulis or Allardyce could potentially have done or ground out a different result.
We certainly wouldn't have been as open under like their managers, for example. Yeah, we always were so expansive when we play. No matter who we're playing, it doesn't make a difference. We're so expansive and open. It's poor.
Aaron Goodwin says, amazed that our first and only booking on Saturday was in the 90th minute from Afellay. Should we be worried that players aren't getting stuck in or showing more passion, at very least when they're getting a hide-in from the big boys?
I agree. Good point as well. I continue to say we just look a bit lacklustre when it really matters. I agree with whoever that was.
I agree with that point. Maybe we just need to. I know it sounds very typical, but get stuck in a bit more.
But I said this in the summer as well. When we're losing players like Glenn Whelan, John Walters, and Bardsley, I said if we ever were up against it in a relegation battle, I couldn't think of any better players to come in than someone like John Walters. We can't call upon him this year, obviously. I hope we don't have to call upon someone like. He's a great player, but I can't see Shaq getting stuck into a relegation battle. Could you?
No.
I don't think he's got the heart of it. I certainly can't see Hesse.
Champions League football.
Well, yeah. I certainly could not imagine Hesse getting stuck into a relegation battle. I think he'd be the first to turn. I don't know.
Matt Bennett says, can either of you recite the recipe to make an oatcake off the top of your head?
No. Can you?
Pancake mix. and wheat
and that's in the dark.
Milk and something. I've got no idea.
I don't have a clue. I just eat them.
Not a clue. Not a clue. Jamie Casey says, why is Peter still in the team? He's consistently poor, a constant liability, which was shown by City's second goal when he was playing everyone on side. Is it beyond a joke that he's still in the team? Well, personally, Jamie, I think that he should have been replaced in the summer. I think we've got in young Josh Timon, who isn't ready to replace him, and has shown signs that he isn't ready. So yeah, but he's there now. We've got no choice.
I agree. I think he's played all right this season. He was very poor last year, but I agree. Let's get Juve at left back. See if he can do a job there.
Give Juve a go. Yeah. Left back. There's a big one here from Alex Bennett. For me, I believe the result was not the main issue, and this says a lot. The main issue is the attitude and performance of players. 7-2 flatters us. The players simply didn't want to be there. Stoke never looked interested, and Man City looked bored. The attitude of the players was summed up by Chupo at the end, who was laughing and joking, swapping shirts with De Bruyne. This, for me, is disgusting and embarrassing. I think sometimes it's easy to blame Hughes, but from this game, the players have to take a large percentage of the blame, as they are professionals and therefore should be able to motivate themselves.
I agree with a high majority of that, but ultimately, if you respect or fear or want to do well for your manager, you won't be laughing, joking. I keep quoting him, but I couldn't imagine any player laughing and joking under a Pulis side, having lost 7-2. Could you?
No.
I recall when Dave Kitson, when we lost to Chelsea 7-0 several years ago, it kicked off. I remember Kitson was subbed and he was swearing and effing and blinded, and Pulis was giving it back. And I do agree a lot with what you're saying about the players have got to take responsibility, but I think ultimately the book does start with the manager and what sort of mentality imparts onto the players. So I think I half agree with that, half don't.
A bit of both.
Yeah.
A bit of both. Alfie Dickin says, do you start Tom Edwards on Saturday? No, because he's injured.
So it says me, yeah.
Jack of all lanterns, if I came over from the States to sack Hughes myself, would you guys give me a place to stay?
How would he sack him? But yeah, what are you breaking?
Well,
pretend to be coach?
Out of kindness, you can come and stay on my floor.
Yeah, well, we live in London, but you can get to London if you want. But I can't guarantee you will sack Hughes, because I don't know how you manage that.
Yeah, we don't.
I've taken that very literally.
Yeah, Liam Cope, would you give Edwards another start again when he's back? Yes.
Yeah, why not?
When he's back. Why not? This is interesting after what you said earlier on. Stoke Staffs says, do we need to go and get Big Sam before it's too late and Leicester or someone else does?
You know what? If we pick up less than 2 points over the next game, I'm always hesitant to be overly negative. But I don't. Maybe. I'm really got a big eye on the Bournemouth game. More specifically, the performance as much as the result against Bournemouth is so important. If we're lacklustre against Bournemouth and show that weak mentality again, I really will.
Well, this leads me on to probably our last question.
Okay.
Dan Gator says, how long has Hughes got left after?
So I'm going to quickly look at our next fixtures.
So we've got Bournemouth, Watford.
Okay.
Then
is it Tottenham?
Someone at home.
Leicester, I think.
Leicester.
So that's a big game. Also. Yeah. So we've got Bournemouth. Then you're right. It's Leicester after that, and then after that it is Brighton away, winnable again, in theory. Then Palace. So the next 5 games, technically a win. You know, they're all very winnable from what I think Stoke can achieve. I think there's a potential to get 15 points. We're obviously not going to win 5 in the bounce, but I think if we get anything less than
9,
I don't know about that. I reckon anything less than 7. That will be my biggest question mark to date. And I've always been
2 wins and a draw.
Yeah, that's always been. Is that harsh? 6. Anything less than 6, then I will be a little bit questionable about where we're going with Hughes.
What, 5?
5, yeah, big question marks. Obviously, the less points we get, the more I'll kind of question him. But
7 points, let's say.
Let's say 7, but it's all about the performance as well. It's all about
the attitude.
And you know what's frustrating? I said this against Man United and Arsenal. I sensed that strong sort of like mentality return a little bit because I was glowing on the podcast. Maybe I was just wrong. Maybe it's a fluke. Maybe we just, when things are going well, we show it. When it's not, we don't. I don't know. But the next 5 games are massive. The biggest 5 in Hughes' tenure at Stoke by far. Really winnable games. Sorry. Go ahead.
Lastly, Chris Focus, would you take a punt on Danny Ings in the next transfer window? He's not playing for Liverpool, and he reckons he could get us a few up top.
Potentially. I don't know how well he's come back from that injury. It's difficult, isn't it, to take a punt on him? I mean, look what happened to Bojan. It's difficult to take a punt on someone with that sort of injury. Depends how much for. It's got to be under 5 million. Because we're buying someone that's we don't know is ever going to be the same sort of player
again. I think we've done that with Berahino already.
Yeah.
I'd rather just spend 15 million on a striker who looks pretty good in a foreign league. For me, that I don't know if we've got a scouting team or what they get up to.
But to have a laugh.
There's so many other teams just picking players out of foreign leagues and doing well. You see Watford, Ricardinho, I think it's or Rickarlson. And he's done very well since starting for Watford.
Since we've been in the Premiership under both Pulis and Hughes, who's been our most successful foreign import?
Arnautovic.
From a foreign league, yeah, I'd argue Arnie. Who else we got? Shaq's been so far.
Bruno
again, no, Bruno's done well, but he's been there a season. Yeah, it's probably Arnie, isn't it? That says a lot. In our pushing a decade in the Premiership, we've got one, we can say without doubt, successful foreign signing.
From a foreign league.
That's worrying, isn't it? Am I missing someone?
I can't think.
Surprised it's that poor.
I can't think of many others.
I mean, obviously we've had other foreigners in, but they've already been in the English leagues before. Who for?
We have had a solid British base throughout our
we generally
time in
have.
the Premier League. You look at Crouch, Walters, Whelan, Shawcross, Huth came from English League.
It's true. We really struggle to exploit the foreign markets. The reason good John Fordson was sacked all them years ago.
Well, I'd like to know. Stoke, let me know what goes on with our scouting team. Have we got a scouting team? Are they looking far abroad? Are they looking in South America?
Just having a little holiday, aren't they?
A little holiday.
Drinking.
They're going on these scouting trips and just doing what I do, and just go out, get pissed.
Yeah, just pop.
That's what I do.
There and there.
That's what I do. To be fair, but I'm not on the scouting team. That is your questions. Did we have a favourite one this week?
I liked the one about someone mentioned Sam Allardyce.
Yeah,
just because it got me thinking a little bit.
Before.
Yeah. Just to stress, I don't think you should go, and I'm not saying get Allardyce in now, but it's just I think he'd be the perfect fit for Stoke. And if he's available and he's still going tits up, I don't know. You just don't want to miss the boat sometimes, do you?
Mm-hmm. Right, this weekend, Bournemouth. Huge game. We're 17th, they are 19th. They've just come off the back of a 1-0 defeat at Wembley to Tottenham, which, to be fair, they were still in that game, but a lot of people are at Wembley against Tottenham in the minute. So what are we expecting from this game? Do you start 4-4-2 again for one?
It depends what defenders are fit again. I mean, let's look at the teams similar to Southampton we've played this year. So you've got Newcastle, quite lacklustre. Southampton, okay, but we got the win. They're going to come and sit, I imagine. So I think we have to play that formation of the wing back one, because I think we need to get bodies forward because they're
the wing back one.
The wing back
3-4-3.
I never really had to name it. Yeah, I think we have to because they're going to sit and we need as much players in the opposition half to try and counter and find them little pockets as we can. Because I think 4-4-2 will just counteract their formation of them sitting. I feel so. Yeah, they're going for the wing backs.
They're struggling for goals at the minute. Bournemouth. They're struggling to score. Puts them in the onion bag. They will have Jermaine Defoe. I think they'll have Joshua King up top.
I'm dreading the game.
You dreading it?
I've got a bad feeling.
I've
just got a bad feeling. When it doesn't rain, it pours. I just got a bad feeling about Saturday. Just to brighten everyone's mood slightly.
To pick this podcast up.
What do you reckon?
I could see it being a draw or something along those lines where we go in the lead and they could get a late goal.
We panic.
Yeah.
Get that Londa Hughes kind of panic.
We do have
70, 80 minutes.
Well, we did it last. Was it last season 2-2? Bojan played very well, or was that Leicester?
We lost. That was Leicester. We lost to Bournemouth last year. Bojan missed a penalty, didn't he?
That's the one,
I think. But yeah, I reckon I can see us taking the lead, getting to 60, 70, 80 minutes, panicking, being bombarded, and then slipping a goal in. That's what I don't know. I think it might be a scrappy draw. I think you're right.
Scrappy draw.
Which is neither here nor there for Hughes or anyone. It doesn't give us any answers as to what we're going to do going forward.
Well,
massive game there.
Let's hope it's not a scrappy draw and it is a win. Bournemouth, as we say, are a side near the bottom who are really struggling. I think this is a huge game for Hughes.
Yeah.
Huge game because he doesn't want to be going into that Watford game needing a win because Watford are playing very well at the minute, especially at home. Marco Silva, before his tenure at Hull last season, had one of the best home records in all European football. He had a really big unbeaten streak, and I think it was only a big side who stopped that, and then against a shit Hull team as well. So he's doing the business. I actually had £100 on Watford to win and both teams to score against Arsenal at the weekend.
Did you?
Yeah, so that came in as well. I knew Arsenal had
How much you win?
£750.
Oh, fuck.
That was nice. That was nice.
I'll play last minute as well.
Are
you watching it?
Yeah, me and True Geordie in the pub. We got £100 on it each. They hit the post about 5 minutes before as well against Arsenal. Came off Mertesacker, I think. I thought, oh, that was the chance. It's gone now. Then last minute, boom,
amazing,
boom. So I will take that. One thing to shout about on Saturday. But that has been the Bear Pit Pod. Depressing one.
Sorry for being so. Well, that's the reality of the situation. It's not like we're going to come in cheery after that.
Not going to come in all right as rain, thinking everything's okay, because it wasn't. But that's been the Bear Pit Pod. Wherever you've been listening on YouTube, Acast, iTunes, SoundCloud, wherever it is, leave us a like, leave us a comment, tell someone else, tell your nan, your cats, your dogs.
Can I put one little request as well? Can I have? Can somebody comment? Where's the furthest away location that you've listened to this podcast from Stoke-on-Trent? I used to say, I listened to it in Australia. I just want to know where
we do have YouTube analytics, Craig. We can look at this.
Can we? But I want can we? Flipping out, you ruined that. Well, comment anyway. Comment anyway. I want specific. I want the town.
Craig wants
the further away, the better.
He wants your address, your postcode. He wants your location.
Yeah.
Send us your location.
I just got the image of someone listening to this on a beach somewhere.
Oh yeah, it happens.
I want to know.
No doubt it happens.
If you listen to this on a beach, let us know.
Mate, you want to see some of the countries? I've looked at the analytics, and you'd be very surprised.
Will there?
Yeah, honestly.
Okay.
Well, but do send us your location. Even tweet him to @cberesford1863.
Correct.
Okay. Or tweet us to @thebearpittv or @ElliotHackney, whichever you want. That has been the Bear Pit Pod. We will wrap it up there. Thank you for listening, and see you later.